Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Pastor Mark with Disciples Cross International Ministries Church. I'm just sitting out here this morning going through 1 Corinthians chapter 5, where Paul talks about sexual immorality defiles the church. And I was reading through this, which I'm going to read through it again with you and break down some things. The way Paul is talking to this church and telling them what to do when he found sexual immorality in the church, I think that people would run Paul out of town today in the American church and churches around the world, because we have become so in tune to the people as opposed to keeping the holiness of God. God did tell us that we be holy, for I am holy. That is his standard. Yes, we fall short of the glory of God. We don't always do things right. We do a whole lot of things that's wrong, messy, and all kinds of stuff. But that still doesn't change our salvation. However, but he still gives some instructions. Paul gave us some instructions to do when things like this happen in the church. And I've never seen it in the church, ever. Well, I know older people do before me, my parents, they saw this, but they thought it was too hard. So once again, they are appealing to the people's feelings. And then sometimes it was done unjustly, especially if a girl got pregnant, they would only bring the girl before the church instead of bringing the girl and the father of the baby before the church. The way they did it was unfair. They accentuated the young lady instead of the young man as well. Both of them should have been excommunicated out of the church if they didn't repent of their sins. That's not the first recourse of action, as Jesus tells us in Matthew chapter 16. But anyway, let's read this. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. It says, Paul starts out, I'm reading from the New American Standard Bible. Paul says, it is actually reported that there is sexual immorality among you. Talking about the church at Corinth. He said, and of a kind that is not tolerated even among pagans. He said, even the pagans don't do this. And we supposed to be the people of God. They supposed to be the people of God, and we supposed to be the people of God. So when he's talking to the Corinthians church, he's talking to the church worldwide today.